Man, I love this place. The problem is we get so busy we don't take the time to experience everything this place has to offer.
Okay. Whoa, what does that mean? What do I do?
Just set it down?
Just drop it down?
Uh-huh.
Shazam! Do we put any special stuff on it? Actually, if I didn't have jeans on, I probably could go all the way down. Whoa, whoa. Ow, I'm nervous. Pull. I hit that thing. Yeah! Let me try some of that. You gotta get kind of Picasso with it. I can feel my lungs closing up. Now, is there normally somebody there to help you put this on?
No. And the loser does dishes.
Oh,
you guys can set me up. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
My name is Noah. Come with me and let's explore a little bit of my hometown of San Diego. When I look around at our beautiful town, I think, does it get any better than this? We have it all. Scenery, parks, and miles of beautiful beaches. Unfortunately, along with it all, comes people, traffic, and more people. San Diego is the 8th largest city in the entire country, and when things go wrong, thankfully, there's somebody who cares. Today, whenever we need help, we simply pick up the phone and, no questions asked, the San Diego Fire Department comes running. How cool is that? Now, for more than 110 years, they've been coming to our rescue while keeping a vigilant watch over our communities. In the early 1800s, San Diego had only volunteer firefighters, and at times, no organized fire protection at all. Then, in 1872, the city's first engine company, Company 1, opened up, staffed by volunteers. The fire rig consisted of a thin, high-wheeled, horse-drawn wagon and 12 buckets, which were hand-filled with water and used to fight the fire, if they weren't empty by the time you got there. Ladders were a key tool back then, so, as you can imagine, ladder training was very important. This bare-bones style of firefighting went on for years, until a huge fire destroyed one of the city's main planing mills. So, finally, on August 5, 1889, a city charter amendment established the San Diego City Fire Department. The department started with 41 men, 11 horses, 2 steam engines, 2 hose carts, 1 hook and ladder, and 4,000 feet of hose. Total worth $22,500. I guess it took a big disaster for the city to figure out the fire department's a pretty important thing. Over the next several decades, the equipment improved and technology progressed, while one thing remained the same: San Diego's bravest never wavered. You can have the best equipment available, but without heart and soul, you've got nothing. Well, I wanted to learn a little more about the history of the department, and I heard there was a fire museum down in Little Italy, so I thought I'd head on over and check it out. Inside, I met the museum's executive director, Mike Colafrancisco.
This is the San Diego Firehouse Museum. It used to be old station number 6. This has been a museum for 40 plus years, since 1960s. They had horse-drawn fire engines here. They had all kinds of stuff at the station.
Really? Horse-drawn, huh?
This place is great. They have an incredible display of firefighting history, including one of the first fire trucks around.
La Jolla's first fire truck.
This is?
This is unique because it could be drawn either by hand by the firefighters on the way to the incident or by horses. Oh. So it could go either way. As you see, there's some hose, a couple extinguishers, and a ladder on top.
Not only do they have some of the first trucks, but they also have some of the first fire extinguishers.
And they're called grenades, and they have a fire retardant chemical in them. And so what would happen is a fire would start, and they would take these grenades and throw them at the base of the fire, and it would put the fire out.
Thank God for progress. As I said, they have a pretty impressive collection of department history here. Open Thursday through Sunday, 10 to 2, and 10 to 4 on weekends. Come in and hear how women were helping fight fires way before they were allowed, and also how it was important to steer the fire trucks correctly so they wouldn't break their thumbs. Whether you're a kid or an adult, or just a history buff, San Diego's Firehouse Museum has a story to tell that everyone should hear. Well, I was getting, should I say, fired up walking around the museum, and I was wondering what it would be like to, be a firefighter. So, I headed on down to the station in my neighborhood to see how it's really done at Engine Company 15 in Ocean Beach. Back in 1915, OB's first fire station was located on Newport Avenue, just up from the Strand Theater. Then, in 1946, Fire Station 15 was built. Located on the corner of Voltaire and Ebers, I'd walk by it every day on the way to school in awe, just wondering what goes on in there. Today, it's the third oldest active station in the entire city. Now that you know a little bit about the building, let me introduce you to the boys. Out of the four, first let's meet Kevin Wakashigi. Kevin is the engineer. The engineer maintains a fire truck, or apparatus as they call it. I love that word, apparatus. Kevin makes sure everything's stocked and restocked and stays in working order as far as the truck's concerned. He also makes a mean teriyaki chicken, which we'll talk about later. Best of all, Kevin gets to drive. Next is firefighter paramedic Mike Morley. They call Mike the trunk monkey. The trunk monkey is the big dude that unwinds out of the back of the car when you need help, right? The reinforcer. At 6'4" and 220, Mike in his size 14 boot is the one I want kicking in my front door when my house is on fire to save my family. A 19-year veteran, Mike is one cool dude. Then there's firefighter Todd Berry. Todd's been at it 22 years, and it's obvious he loves what he does. Not only does he work in OB, but he lives here too, so he knows the area like the back of his hand. The minute I met Todd, I felt like I've known him for years. He's a good guy. At the top of the totem pole is Captain Joe Dico. When it comes to fighting fires, let's just say he's been there, done that. Joe's the kind of guy you love to respect. Why? Because it's obvious he's earned it. At the scene, there's never any question who's in charge. I guess that's what being a good captain's all about. When it comes to being a team and covering each other's back, these guys are tight. Captain Dico says it best.
It's a brotherhood. I love these guys. I will do anything for those guys at a drop of a hat.
How cool is that? Well, I wanted to be part of that brotherhood, but before I could, Captain Dico said I'd have to spend a day in their boots, which didn't seem so tough. Sorta.
All right.
Yeah.
So these are our bunker boots. We call them our bunker boots.
Bunker
turnout
boots.
pants. Those are layered and Nomex, fire resistant on the outside.
Okay.
Suspenders over your shoulders.
All right, so far.
Okay.
Turnout coat.
Throw that on.
Turnout coat's nice and light.
It gets sweaty. And
Oh yeah. Okay. How do you guys do this so fast? Wow. I got it. It's just fire's still burning. I'll be there. Hold on a second. Now, is there normally somebody there to help you put this on?
No. You have to do it yourself.
Son of a gun. I need this on?
make it real. So you turn the bottle on, you'll suffocate.
Whoa. Are you kidding me?
Gloves, gloves. That's it. Don't fall over. Extra air bottle.
Where's the fire?
Water into 15, you give him that arm up.
Look at it.
Water even 15. Whoa. Hey, this thing. Woo. Okay.
I never thought that shooting water from a hose would be so much work, let alone trying to walk forward, or advance as they say. Let me tell you, it wasn't easy.
I am physically tired already, and I've been shooting water for what, maybe 3 minutes? Not even that?
But normally if it's an interior fire, Noah, we're crawling on our hands and knees, dragging this hose inside. And remember, the place is full of smoke. It's hot. You can't see anything. You can't see the hand in front of your face. And it's in a building or a room that you've never been in before. So as you're crawling, you're running into couches, tables, finding your way through, listening for the fire, feeling for the heat where the fire would be, And you may get,
By the way, that's how we find down firemen. When you don't move.
Oh, when you don't move?
Starts.
That was that alarm?
If you were to get hurt and you didn't move, that would go off. And if we were in the building, we'd hear that, we'd immediately come looking for you. I know
something's
that a
wrong.
firefighter's down.
You can let it sit there and go off, and you can hear the alarm. Then
Watch, it'll go off.
It takes about 10 seconds, and it'll go into a full big alarm.
So that alarm means that I'm not moving.
Yeah.
or you're not working. One or the other.
One or the other. I got to put this on my kids. So if I move,
No, now you have to shut it off here.
And if you remember some of the footage from 9/11,
there's crazy noises everywhere. That was what that was?
nothing like that from the piles.
So the batteries ran out.
Really?
All the guys that didn't make it.
Okay.
Step on the hose.
Step
there
on.
you go.
Now tell him shut down.
Shut down.
Shut down.
Right.
Shut
So he'll
down.
shut it down.
I
And
am
then you go ahead
tired.
and open it up.
After the fire's put out, the work doesn't stop. Oxygen has to be replaced, gear organized, and the hoses put back just right.
Not this round, but the next one, do a little what we call a tail,
So why has this one come out so far?
because you grab it.
Oh. Now Todd will do the nozzle checks when he gets it up there, because the nozzle has to be set in a
Go
certain
full
way.
fog, full GPM, butt shut.
Captain Deco said it's all about preparation and being ready for the next situation, which could easily be entering into a raging house fire.
I just look at it totally different now.
It's
That
a hard
wasn't easy.
job. It's a hard job. We don't do that every day,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But we prepare for it every day, and we're ready to do it every day. And with the crew I have, they have done that. I've seen them do that firsthand. And that goes on all over this city, and it goes on all over the nation with firefighters every single day. That kind of thing happens. So it's not easy. It's not for everybody, but it's something we love to do.
I got nothing but respect for these guys. I must admit, heading back to the station, I was feeling pretty anxious to go on our first call. But until then, the captain said he had a few things to keep us busy. These guys take great pride in their station. After all, it is their home away from home.
Okay, no, this is my room. This is the captain's quarters, and pretty lucky to have this room. This station years ago was a battalion headquarters, so it used to be a battalion chief here, and this was a battalion chief's quarters back then. In the old days, firefighters all slept in one room together. Basically had beds like this, just lined up in a room. No privacy, anything. Somebody was snoring, they kept you up, and other things going on. So a lot of shenanigans used to be happening in dorm-style quarters like that.
Now everyone has their own room, and Mike showed me what's special about his.
These are my beautiful girls at home. My oldest daughter, Hunter. My youngest is Kennedy, and my beautiful wife is Kristen.
For these guys, family is what it's all about.
Yeah, this is some pictures of my family here. I've got a great picture of my family, my wife Tabitha with my children, Owen, Briella, and Gavin. This is down in San Felipe at Thanksgiving time. We like to go down there and enjoy ourselves at Thanksgiving, and these are some pictures of their growing stages, which I can't keep up with right now. My little guy hopefully is going to be a firefighter someday. He's wearing my new helmet that I had refinished here, so maybe a sign of future things to come. My academy picture and some fire pictures that I've been on here. This fire was in North Park, and
That's you at the top of the stairs going in there, huh?
Yeah, that's me right there. There's another guy that's on the nozzle, Tim Kinnett, my other partner. And then I'm standing. Right now, it's burning the aluminum gutters, and it's dripping down. You can see me looking up. It's dripping down. It burnt through my jacket, and I had burns on the back of my neck. And you can see me looking up. I didn't know why I was burning, and it was melting the aluminum from the flames, and the aluminum was dripping on top of us. So my jacket was basically decommissioned after that because it burnt through all the layers, and it went through my hood, through my neck. I had a couple burns on my neck, and that's some of the problems you encounter when you're outside of a fire. You're not even inside yet. We went in that door here and pushed the fire out all the windows and stopped it from spreading and put the fire out.
I don't know if I'll ever be able to wrap my mind around the fact that these guys would run into a burning building, putting their own families and lives aside to save someone they don't even know. Well, after all this work, I was getting hungry. So, it's off to the store to shop up the fixins for Kevin's famous teriyaki chicken.
Okay, so part of our day is we have to get groceries for our day. It's our house, home away from home, gotta eat.
Okay.
So pay up.
How much is it?
$10.
$10 a person?
$10 a day.
All right. Okay, what? There's something I didn't know. These guys have to buy their own food? That just doesn't seem right.
We shop every day here at Dirk's Market here in Ocean Beach. Stump's Market's our favorite market, and they treat us good and good quality stuff.
As we checked out, we met Captain Deco's son, who's a checker here. It just reinforced to me how connected these guys are with the neighborhood. As we left, the Mayberry moments continued. Folks stopped us to say hello and say thanks for the help they've received in the past. And the local bakery even gave us dessert. Now that's Mayberry.
You ever had baked asparagus?
No.
Oh, you're gonna be in.
I've had barbecued asparagus. Have you ever had barbecued
that sounds
asparagus?
good,
That's
too.
pretty good. Nice. Is this your special concoction?
Pretty much.
All right,
We
so-
like to eat it raw.
Oh.
Okay, so let's just say right now, the alarm goes off. We gotta book, huh? What do you do?
Turn the heat off and
Just go, huh?
we'll be back. Sorry.
Has that happened? Oh, I bet, huh? Lots.
Pretty embarrassed. Now we're just gonna wait for the magic to happen.
As the magic was happening, Captain Deco told me a little bit about their uniforms.
We have 3 different uniforms that we wear, primarily in the fire station and when we're doing business. This uniform I have on here with our t-shirts is a Class C uniform. This is the one we wear when we're doing work around the station. We might get dirty, that type of thing. Most responses, this is the shirt that we wear underneath our safety equipment. We have a Class B uniform as well. And the difference in a Class C and Class B is the shirt. The Class B shirt is more of a little more formal than our t-shirts, with our badges on and other insignias that we carry. Identifies us, and this is the uniform that we wear when we're meeting and dealing with the business on official business, the public on official business. And we also have a Class A uniform. Class A uniform is wool, it's more traditional. This is our dress uniform. This uniform that we use during parades, for funerals, and interviews, and that type of thing.
I noticed on both Mike and Todd's Class B uniform, they had this bar that said life-saving, and this is why.
It was a call just over here about a year ago, right off West Point Loma Boulevard. We got a call for an apartment fire in the middle of the night.
Todd and I, my partner Todd and I made entry into the building. Todd was on the nozzle. I was backing him up. I went off on my own sort of to do a primary search.
He was hollering for help. He just encountered someone in the bedroom in the rear of the unit.
Halfway under the bed.
She's halfway under the bed.
Yeah, she'd fallen off the bed. And again, it was just, I was just doing what I was taught in the academy. And I just happened to sweep over her thigh. And I just, with my gloves and everything. 'cause
You
it was
can't
just-
see in there?
Nah, it was all smoke and I had my light on. I couldn't
So
see. It was
you're
all
feeling
my
around.
feel. And I went by, and I knew I was by the bed because I felt the bed. And I was going by the bed, and I felt what I thought just was something weird, something that's soft, something that just wasn't supposed to be there. And so I went over again with both hands and felt it, and I went, wow, I think this is somebody. And I grabbed it and pulled it toward me, and was feeling it, and I felt the top of her head and the hair. And I went, I knew this was somebody.
We were able to pick her up and not very easily, I have to say, pull her out of the house. She was rather large, and the house was in a little bit of a disarray, and so there was a lot of things on the floor that kind of inhibited our exit and getting out. So we were stumbling a little bit, but we were able to get her out. She wasn't breathing at that point, and the medics were able to get her back breathing. She spent 3 months in UCSD's burn center with respiratory burns and was able to have a full recovery, and she is out now.
The longer I hang with these guys, the more I understand the bond, which is the brotherhood. It's something pretty special. Kevin's teriyaki chicken was awesome, as well as the baked asparagus and rice. In pretty much every firehouse across the city, after each meal, they play a traditional card game called 2 to 10, and today it was my turn to learn.
They do them at dinner and lunchtime. This is kind of while we're eating kind of thing.
Okay.
And the loser does dishes. That's kind of how it's.
You guys are setting me up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I lucked out because just as I was ready to do dishes, we got our first call. guess you could say I was a little disappointed to find out it was only a blown water pipe. I was also surprised that they called us and not a city worker or even a plumber maybe? Nevertheless, we fixed the pipe and immediately we got another call. When it rains, it pours, right? This one was an elderly woman who'd fallen and couldn't get up. I listened as she yelled, "Don't touch me," at the same time saying, "Get me up." I was a little confused, but these guys handled it just right. Over the next several hours, it seemed all heck broke loose as we went from one call to another helping people. Had to break through a fence to get to this guy. This guy couldn't remember how many pills he took. First it was 10, then 20. No, he dropped the container. I don't know. But no matter the case, these guys treat each situation with the same amount of respect and dignity. At each call, they're quick and organized. How is that? Well, they're always prepared. Never knowing what they may show up to, they prepare for everything. At each stop, they had a strong presence of control along with calmness. I found lots of comfort in that. Captain Deco said preparation is everything. Let me give you an example. Our engine, along with engine 20 and 22, met down at the old Silver Spray Apartments. Why, when they weren't even on fire? Well, I'll tell you. This place is 100 years old and has no sprinkler system, tough access, and built like a maze. If it caught on fire, it'd definitely be a tough one. So Todd toured us around and talked about the best way to approach this place in the worst case scenario. The main focus on each one of these guys' minds was how to get everyone out of this building safely. As I said, they're always thinking ahead. On the way back to the station, Joe said he wanted to swing by a plate of food to a retired New York City fire captain who had no family in town. His name was Roy. None of this surprised me because by now I understood it was the Brotherhood. A week later, on another food stop to Roy's, a neighbor said they hadn't seen him in a couple of days. So the guys noticed the locked screen and the pile of newspapers on his front porch, climbed in through a window to find Roy immobile in his chair. He had stroked out and been sitting there for 2 days. Luckily, they got him to the hospital in time. Talk about having each other's back. At the station, Joe showed me this original sign he was restoring that said Engine Company 15. On it would be the names of the retired men of this station. Joe told me something very special about each one of them.
Vern Fleet, great fireman, great waterman, lifeguard. This guy hunted pigs with a knife in his hand, wild pigs. I mean, huge man, giant sized guy, great fire officer. Ed Letzring, same thing, Ocean Beach resident, sailor. His dream was to sail around the world when he retired, and I think he's working on that.
I watched as they hung the sign, and Todd shared something very cool about Joe Vaya.
He has a kind of a claim to fame. He actually opened one of the hatches on the door of Apollo when it landed in the ocean. And he was one of the frogmen that helped the astronauts out of the capsule into the boat and brought them on ship. And then he became a San Diego firefighter.
The guys pitched in to buy new signs for the front of the station too, and I had the honor of helping to hang them. As we were putting them up, I couldn't help but think, how fortunate are we as a neighborhood, as a country, to have such incredible men and women willing to serve. After my brief glimpse of a day in the life of a firefighter, I wholeheartedly believe that without them, our country would truly fall apart. No doubt about it. San Diego firefighters rock.